the challenges of conversational design.
Hello, hi. Dear colleagues, dear friends, dear industry. First, let me start with some jokes that actually you have taught me. By the way, I've learned for the first time on Cooper.com blog, so, okay. This is the first vehicle powered by a first gasoline engine which ran for the first time in 1879 and was created by Carl Benz. Carl Benz solved a real problem with transportation and has changed the world. But how do you make a better car than that? You slap an interface on it. Or even two. Two are a real deal, especially with possibility to watch videos, right? The modern refrigerator was a great invention. It solved a real problem. We can no longer have fresh food at home. And nowadays, how do you make a better fridge today? Again, you slap an interface on it. Or you can have an interface, for example, which has an Evernote mobile app, so you can use Evernote. You can also have a tweeter. Yeah, love to check my tweets while getting some water from the fridge. And is it a really innovation? Is that all we've got as it comes to the revolution in interface design? And I've learned from Don Norman that the real problem with the interface is that it's an interface. Interfaces got in the way. I don't want to focus on my energies on an interface. I want to focus on the job. I don't want to think of myself as using a computer. I want to think of myself as doing my job. Then, Golden Krishna had convinced me that the best interface is no interface. Who read this book? Can you please raise your hands? A few. Do you like it? Yeah? So, dear industry, it seems to me that you have been whining a lot about interfaces. And maybe I have a good news for you, because look what's happening. Your prayers have been listened, and there are more and more devices that you can control with your gesture or with your voice. For example, this is a Snapchat spectacle.
So basically, you tap it to actually start recording. So if I want, I'm now recording, so I can look around. However, if I'm done, I just tap and hold, and that's it.
And it's off. Okay.
These are Apple AirPods.
They've also got some very simple but crazy useful features, like taking an AirPod out of your ear pauses the music, which just makes sense. And of course, once you place it back in your ear, the music resumes instantly without fail.
And this is Amazon dash button. You press the button to order a product. You can choose whatever product you want, and it makes an order through the Amazon app. And this is a Google Clips. AI first device. You don't need to operate the camera. It automatically do that on its own. So this camera actually decides when to take photos. And of course, voice-enabled speakers that can be your automation hub as much as it's your personal assistants, for example, like Google Home or Amazon Echo. So you talk to get answers, you can talk to manage some tasks. And that means, and Luke Wróblewski remind me that graphical user interface is gone. And it's happening right now, not in the future. So the graphical user interface that you have disliked so much, I think it's right now gone. So no more chains, no more problems. Now you are free. If you only want, you'll have no interfaces. So is it going to be easier for you? All fidelity is removed. It's only emotion and language. I bet this could be the purest design challenge you have ever taken on. So the IoT Revolution presents a unique questions. How do we design for an IoT product like Alexa that has no user interface? Or if not, voice-enabled speakers, let's take, for example, a bot for Messenger or Slack or Kik or everything else. So The first one gives you an opportunity to design for voice-based interface, and the second one gives you opportunity to design text-based conversation. So you have the unique opportunity to design a great UX with no UI. So can you do that? Just to let you know my background, I am the CEO of a user experience design agency with a very fancy name, Moby Dick. We build digital products and services such as e-commerce systems, banking platforms, loyalty platforms, mobile apps for top Polish brands and also foreign. And we also provide research services and business strategy consultancy. And last year, we took a try on bot market with our fellow software house MoveUp, and thanks to it, we collect many experience and even some know-how. We have analyzed offers of 5 Polish and 8 foreign competitors. We've talked to 26 Polish clients interested in having a bot. We interviewed and observed 30 people while interacting with bots. We actually have designed one bot and convinced 2 companies to have a bot, but unfortunately let them write a bot on their own. And of course, we had very many thousands of interactions with bots. It doesn't matter is it little or a lot. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I just want to understand what kind of perspective do I have today. And even before that, and even before Facebook F8, the conference on which Mark Zuckerberg told that he is running bot market, I've written this article. Sorry, it's in Polish, but it's the best proof that I told the industry that you need to be ready for a new, more natural way of communications with your clients. And after F8, media got crazy about bots. And there were some articles like that. Forget apps, now the bots take over. The rise of conversational UI, design is a conversation. And yeah, actually, it's about time for a conversational user interface. Also, big companies make that kind of statements that chatbots are the new apps. And then we took a dive into some bots. For example, eBay shop bot. Yeah, I'm starting a shopping, and it lets me to type what I'm looking for. So I'm typing books. Yeah. Okay, so bots are the future, actually. Yeah. The bots made us to confirm repeatedly one action all over again. For example, 180flowers.com did the same thing. It's actually impossible to complete the order because you cannot just confirm your address that you're typing it right. So that kind of hiccups became very persistent issue, but bots definitely are a future, especially when I checked my wedding picture and I learned that I am a dog. So that's nice. But also Alexa can make some mistakes.
Alexa, play Ticker Ticker.
Oh. Bobby, can you talk to play wheels?
You want to hear a station for porn detected. Porno ringtone, hot chick, amateur girl, calling sexy.
No.
Hot pussy, anal dildo ringtone.
Alexa, stop! What was that?
Good that you have some kind of control of this kind of interface, right? Of course, going back to bots, I've seen also a good ones. For example, a Polish version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is kind of good bot. If you haven't talked to it, you can try it. But the best bot I've ever seen on Messenger is a Christian Grey chatbot. Ladies, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Christian Grey chatbot, but if not, please do. I don't know how he does it, but he does it good. Okay, summing up, tolerance for mediocre bot is much less than for a mediocre app. And for example, last example, Poncho was a bot supposed to quickly tell you the weather. And if its goal was to replace your weather app with a chatbot, Poncho doesn't even come close, because Facebook API doesn't allow bots to know your location. So the user needs to type their location or click a button to tell the bot of their location. So what's the point of developing that kind of bot instead, for example, of checking a weather through a native mobile app? So my point is that it takes more time to use this bot to check the weather rather than use a mobile native app. So you can have a look at that chat and see what's going on. And then what happens next? After a few months, media changed their minds, and I started to learning that chatbot sucks, that there are some problems with chatbots, that fashion retailers who gone with bots now they are reconsidering their strategies. And guess what? Bots has their limits. Well, hello, Captain Obvious. Everything has its limits. Every technology has its possibilities and limits, and it's actually our responsibility to learn them, to understand them, before we start creating a new solution with that kind of technology. Sorry for reminding this very obvious Venn diagram, but just to remind you that UX is a compromise between business viability, between users' desirability, and also technology feasibility. And this is what over here is missing, because it seems that we didn't take too much time to learn about technology and its feasibility. And Maya Mikayo, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing their name properly, but she is a co-founder of GP Shopper, a company who is involved in a few bots for retailers, said that kind of statement. There was original excitement that bots would solve all our problems and increase communication. Then, as chatbots were actually implemented, there were limitations on what they could actually do. As chatbots were actually implemented. So first you do, then you think. Of course, I agree with Maya that diminishing interest from consumers is connected with the poor understanding of what bot is, but my point is that the more we are in the chase of being innovative or under pressure to be the first one in the industry, the more we are doing maybe not harm, but disappointment to our users, to our end users. And what we are creating have an impact on people's, maybe not lives, but their attitude to new technology, new possibilities. And this is what real people have said to us when we are talking with them what they think about bots. For example, yeah, I've sent him a kiss and he shut down after saying I have technical problems. Without emojis, there's no conversation. And most of people definitely do not understand that they have been interacting with an algorithm. Very few understand, but after that they are disappointed with only predetermined answers. So actually I haven't met a single bot that actually does anything beyond a narrow scripted interaction. They all seems okay inside the script, but become super annoying very fast when moving out of their pre-designed limits. Next one. I'm writing in Polish, that's answering in English, what the fuck. If I have talked to a bot instead of a real human, please make it useful at least. it doesn't understand full sentences, only words, only few words. And this teach me that with existing limits of Messenger's API, it's extremely hard to make a simple bot for Messenger because people will always expect something more. So you as designers actually need to learn more about AI and involve it somehow to have a basic conversation scenarios covered. Because not to mention at least a million different ways of saying hello or goodbye in a conversation. But at the end, people do not really care about AI or chat. They only want a better or a faster way to complete their task. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this case study, but it proves that if you want to order a pizza through Microsoft Pizza Bot, you actually need to tap on your smartphone screen 73 times. If you want to do this through a Pizza Hut mobile app, you need just to tap only 16 times. So it's all about the timing of completing the task. Maybe some other example with Google Assistant.
Okay, Google. Set an alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m.
All right, your alarm's set for tomorrow at 9 a.m.
All right, alarm set for 12 hours from now. So if I go over here, go to alarms, boom, 9 a.m., it's on. I wonder if it'll cancel. Let's see. Okay, Google. Turn off the alarm for tomorrow for 9 a.m.
All right, consider it canceled.
Boom, alarm canceled. So if I go back to the clock, boom, disappeared. Magical.
You can try to do it with your fingers, just to set the alarm and then turn it on and just measure the time, how much it takes you to do it. You can,
Okay, Google.
Take a
Remind me
competition.
tomorrow at 9 a.m. to call my mom and wish her happy birthday.
Okay, do you want to save this?
Save it.
Okay, reminder saved.
So it avoids the back and forth with OK Google if you just say it all in one stream, you know?
The same try with Alexa. Let's have a look at Jarvi from YouTube. Jarvi is a YouTuber who's experiencing Alexa for the first time.
Alexa, play They Might Be Giants. Really? Who's Alexa?
Music by They Might Be Giants.
Who's that? What just happened? You just said things out loud and it happens? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Okay, so now we are going to try to beat the Alexa to search for that kind of music.
Alexa, play Sarah Bareilles.
Shuffling music by Sarah Bareilles.
Is that cool?
That is
Or you can do this, play this too. Alexa, what's the weather outside?
A few more seconds later, right? So now you can see that really time matters the most. If you can remember only one sentence from my talk, please let it be this one. Okay, but one more question to you guys. How easy was to teach human to interact with a computer? Because I think that lots of our companies exist because it was really hard, right? Your job is to improve the interaction between human and computers. Usability field, the UX industry exists because we realized that it's a tremendous need for developers to help them with this kind of interaction. But now we figured out that it might be easier to teach computer to talk to humans because as everybody know how to have a conversation, everybody can design a conversation flow, right? But in my perspective, that's the biggest delusion. But interesting, it's not helping because if you're going on the websites, for example, Pullstring or other companies which make tools for developers or non-developers to build the bots, you can read something like this one. If you can write, you can make a bot. If you can talk, you can make a bot. And I think it's not that easy. And just to prove it, let's have a look at this example. Hello, how to delete a chat? How do you delete old conversations? Hi, how can I leave or delete a conversation? So are you ready to deal with incredible variation? Because you will hardly ever get the exact same sentence. For example, in this example, these people wanted to help in deleting a chat, but other people used the word delete to ask about deleting just a small piece of information from their account or entire account. The same thing in Alexa. This is a fragment interview with Stephanie Hay, a head of content strategy at Capital One, who was designing an Alexa skill for Capital One, and she says that one use case was hearing your balances. So what if you're a credit card only customer? What if you're a credit card plus checking account plus savings account customer? What does the word balance mean in both of those cases? Balance, when it comes to a credit card, is what you owe. On the other hand, the balance is in checking accounts is what you have, like available cash. Even that word alone needs to change, and you start getting into this and realize that you have no UI to delineate that. And the challenge kept getting deeper and deeper. If you're interested in this case, I recommend you to go to uxpen.com blog and read it more. So to sum up, the bad news is that graphical user interface designers really do not have skills required in conversational user interface design. Building conversational interfaces doesn't just come with lots of technical challenges. It also has a lot of social ones. It requires a knowledge of linguistic and script writing, just to name two. So our responsibility is to learn, and actually we need to start learning right now. And the main challenge is to overcome that we are not likely to change the way we work. 5 years ago, when we were launching Moby Dick, we have learned that if we want to build mobile apps, we need to exchange the knowledge which we have from web design, because at least 60% of the knowledge, it needs to be the new knowledge, not from the web design, but uniquely for mobile design. And I guarantee you that you need to do the same thing right now. You need to throw out some part of the knowledge and start to learn how to design for conversational, textual, and voice. And I think that you have no choice, because let's try to think as a digital conversation like a new touch point that we should learn how to design for. And I have really no doubts that we should treat digital conversation as a new touch point, just like we had websites, we had apps, and now we should think about it as a conversation. It's definitely not a medium that will come and go away. So please do it clever. So revolutions in computers are driven by change in the user interface. Current revolution is happening because the gap between input and the output got smaller. So interface change didn't just make computing faster, they made it more immediate, removing layers of mediation between you and the computer. So keep going, but don't make assumptions, because actually you know very little. Don't take nothing for granted. Iterate as many times as you can. And please study technology feasibility, because we are today in the early design days of conversational design. I think it's like GUI in 1990s. There are many questions. There are very little best practices. So you are responsible for creating really good ones. If you cannot do it, just wait and let others to do that. If you don't, you may disappoint your users. So I think we're living in very significant times, and in front of the technology, be humble. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you very much. You were the best audience I could have today.
Thank you very much. Monika Mikowska from Moby Dick. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Fantastic lecture. Begs the question,